So we have a man with us today, a writer and a columnist. He's the host of the podcast Ideas Have Consequences. His name is Larry Taunton, and he has been to meet with the Nigerian Christians on the ground. He knows what's happening there. Let's bring him on to get his expertise and his context. Larry, thanks for joining me. Do you believe that Zohran Mamdani is engaging in taqiyya, where this Islamic belief that essentially allows you to lie and hide your true beliefs in order to infiltrate Western society to advance Islam?
Oh, of course he is. Of course he is. And he's very clever at it. You know, he has this charming smile, and he seems like such an outgoing, pleasant, likable fellow. But at the end of the day, he's a jihadist. That's what he is. And Islam, socialism, Marxism, they see the polls just like we do. A recent, was it a Pew Forum poll, Gallup poll that came out just this past week that showed majority of Gen Zers have a favorable view of socialism. They see that just as we do. And they're aware that if they sock puppet socialism, if you follow me, they use it. They use it as their vehicle to penetrate the West, but they're not chiefly socialists or Marxists. They are jihadists. Listen, Islam is a religion of conquest. It's really less a religion than it is an ideology of conquest. That's what it's all about. It's about conquering the entire world until there's nothing but that which is for Allah, is the way the Quran puts it. So, but this is the Muslim strategy, the Islamic strategy for millennia. I mean, this is just the way they work. This is the way they operate, and it's what's happening in London. It's what's happening in Paris. It's what's happened in Dearborn. It's what will happen in New York City. And by that, I don't mean busloads of children being brought in and dropped off and given AK-47s, but I mean radicalizing of youth and of turning a blind eye to violence. And you see all these knife attacks that are being reported, and things like beheadings and rape gangs. I mean, Rotherham has been just not reported in the United States at all. Roughly 250,000 British white girls, according to the Times of London, trafficked on an industrial scale, and almost no one has been punished. Now, why is that? Well, it's because the violence, the rape gangs, the knifings, all of this is part of the plan. It's not something that the politicians are going, gosh, I wish this hadn't happened again. It's because in Saqib Khan's London, he wants it. That's what they will want in New York. And it's because what happens? There will be an exodus of people out of those cities. So you eventually surrender a whole, metropolis, Britain's most important city, the United States' most important city, surrendered to jihadists. And I know that there are some people who are listening to this and going, oh, this is just so wild. I just don't believe this. I'm telling you, I've seen it. It's the way it works. But when we're talking about, real Islam, we're talking about people who take the Quran, the Hadith, that is the holy writings of Islam, and the life of Muhammad, which they are supposed to model themselves after. And Muhammad was a thug. Muhammad killed 800. I mean, if he even existed, he killed 800 Jews in a single day, slit their throats. Raping and pillaging is all part of Islam. And so you see women are seen as the spoils of war. And so women, you will recall a few years ago that we were hearing about these Nigerian girls who were taken by Boko Haram into sex slavery. Well, the fact of the matter is that's happening every day in Islam. Islam is a religion of violence. It's a religion of hate. It's a religion of misogyny. It is a religion made by men to indulge every perverse male appetite.
Well, the Quran itself says, and this is a quote, kill the unbelievers wherever you find them and take them, detain them, and sit and wait for them. So if you interpret that in any kind of literal way, I mean, I don't know how there's any way to interpret that to mean anything other than what it clearly says to mean. It sounds to me like they're trying to establish a caliphate. It sounds to me like we talked about this more, I think, 10 years ago than we do now in the United States. But they're not only trying to establish a caliphate, they are committed religiously. They have to. It's their religious duty. They're bound to kill Christians.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, that's the thing. Mamdani, when he's saying that he was being pulled aside at immigration, the clip that you were playing just a minute ago, that only makes sense that immigration would do so, because if you are a Muslim, you are stating, I mean, this is the reality, that you're an adherent of a religion that, by definition, you are an anti-Semite. By definition, you are a misogynist. By definition, you do not believe in democracy. You do not believe in freedom. Islam is antithetical to Western, specifically American, ideals.
Well, this is why I brought Zohran Mamdani up at the beginning of the show and played that video of the Egyptian woman who had observed on the ground in Egypt these Muslim Brotherhood, that's a jihadist terror group, had observed these jihadists in Egypt organizing and said she came to the United States. She thought she'd escape the bad guys, but the bad guys beat her here. They're here on the streets of the United States organizing. And I feel, Larry, that we have been remiss in the past 10 years because we've been distracted with other things that are worth our attention, like wokeness, like a million other things, like forever wars, that we have forgotten that there is this concerted effort by the leaders of the religion of Islam and all the adherents to infiltrate our country. And when I see Zohran Mamdani and I hear some of the things, I mean, this man was born in Uganda, right? This man is an African by birth. He was naturalized as an American citizen under what you could argue, and we did last week, under false pretenses, because we don't know whether he disclosed prior to naturalization his praise of terrorists. And if he didn't, that would have disqualified him from being naturalized. But you have to wonder why he's not speaking up as a natural born African himself, as someone who has stated that his entire political worldview is shaped around, quote unquote, standing up for Palestinians being genocided. You have to wonder why he's not speaking up about what's happening to Christians in Nigeria.
Well, and you have to wonder the same thing about, say, someone like Saqib Khan or Ilhan Omar. I mean, why are we not hearing anything about that from them? Well, of course, it's because it doesn't fit the narrative. What Westerners don't understand, and Americans most of all, is that Muslims have been trying to figure out how to penetrate the West with their ideology. And they realized, particularly after 9/11, that Islam wasn't the way. That is to say, you couldn't come in, promoting that religion because Americans just were not receptive to it. So they found that the Trojan horse was socialism, to come in as Marxist. Mamdani, at the end of the day, he's not a Marxist. He's not a communist chiefly. He is an Islamic insurgent who is using Islam the same way, socialism, the same way that Saqib Khan, the same way that Ilhan Omar and many others are using socialism to penetrate the West and establish outposts for Islam, colonies. That's the way this works.
Which is terrifying to think about it. But if you put together the totality of all the different video clips of Zohran talking about his own ideology and his motivations that have gone so viral over the course of the past couple of weeks, that actually makes sense. I want to read something that his mother said about where his loyalties lie. And this is from an interview with the Hindustan Times back in May of 2013. Now, this is before Zohran was naturalized into being an American citizen. His mother said he's, quote, not an American at all. He is very much us. He's not American at all. He was born in Uganda, raised between India and America. He is at home in many places. He thinks of himself as Ugandan and as Indian. He is a total Desi, someone of South Asian descent. He is not a Farang, foreigner, often implying Westerner, at all. We are not Western at all. End quote. We are not Western at all. And so you see this, Larry, and you hear this, and you see his silence, and the same goes, you are absolutely correct, the same goes for Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, the same goes for Ilhan Omar, a congresswoman here in the United States who was born in Somalia. Also, by the way, her immigration background is also very suspect. She could have committed immigration fraud. If you haven't listened to that episode, I highly recommend that everyone goes back. I think it's from 2 weeks ago that we did that. We are not Western at all.